Hey everyone, welcome back. I've got another weekly challenge lab walkthrough from BugForge today. This is another iteration of the Galaxy Dash application, and this is a SQL injection lab. Um, there's something in the back end of this application or on the server that is preventing SQL map from working. So what I'm going to do is, like I do with all of the SQL injection uh, labs on BugForge, I'm going to walk through and show you how to do this manually. There's really not any difference between this and any of the other ones that we've done. If you can do the other ones that we've seen manually, you can do this one manually. There's not really any trickery to it. So let's go over here and I'm going to go to deliveries. I've already got one, but let's create a new delivery here. And we'll say doesn't really matter. This stuff doesn't really matter. Um, as long as you book the delivery, then it'll be there and we can work with it. So if you look here under all deliveries, you've got these uh, toggles where you can track um, the deliveries by status. So you've got pending, in transit, delivered, and so on. And if we come over to Kaido and we look and we can see these queries uh, here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send that over to, that's not the right button, send this over to replay. Um, get rid of if none match if you're getting a 304 not modified response. So if we get rid of that, then we get the data back. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start poking at this a little bit to see if this might be vulnerable to a SQL injection. So I'm just going to add a single quote and I get a database error. So that's a good first indication that this might be vulnerable to a SQL injection. So what happens if I add another single quote? Then I don't get the error anymore, but I also don't get any data back. So I'm going to try to use an and operator here. So let's uh, let's just do and one equals one. Okay, send that. Okay, and I get data back. So basically, what this is checking is it's checking both sides of the operator. So it's checking that there's a delivery with the status of pending and one equals one. If both of those things are true, then it's returning data to me. So I want to confirm this by changing this to one equals two. And if this is actually being interpreted as a SQL query or as part of the SQL query, then I shouldn't get any data back from this because I'm introducing a false condition to one side of the and operator. So remember what I said, if both of those have to be true with an and operator in order to get data back. So there might be a delivery with the status of pending, but if I'm saying and one equals two, then I shouldn't get any data back from this. So if I send this and we can see that I don't get any data back from this. So we've now confirmed that this is actually being uh, interpreted as part of the SQL query. So if you come back here, if we come back, you can count these, but there's 26 columns that are returned from this. So I'm going to use an order by just to confirm this. I'll do order by 25, send, I get something back, order by 26. I get something back. Now, if I go up to order by 27, I get a database error because that 27th column that I'm asking it to do the order by doesn't exist. So it's freaking out and saying, I don't know what to do. There's not a 27th column, so I'm going to return an error. So cool. Now we've confirmed that there's 26 uh, columns being returned. Now I can do a union select, and I'll just do uh, all the way up to 26. You don't need to actually do the actual numbers. You can just do ones if you want. You can try nulls. I ran into an issue with trying nulls. It didn't like that, so I'm just using numbers. So now I get uh, this back here, and you can see all of the numbers that I submitted are returned to me. So um, usually the way I try to figure out what database backend database is in use is trying to list the version. Um, this didn't work on this, and I think it has something to do with uh, whatever may be in place that prevents SQL Map from fingerprinting this. But usually, what you can do, SQLite version. Um, Usually, this will work, but it doesn't in this case. So what I did end up figuring out, or the way I ended up figuring out that it was a SQLite database, is just by going through uh, different things like this and trying to see if I could figure out um, what it what it was. So in this case, using name from uh, SQLite master worked. I got the response back, and I'm seeing bookings. Um, so what I can do now is I can try to enumerate. Well, I'm getting ahead of myself. So um, it's returning multiple um, objects here. You see bookings, delivery notes, delivery services, invoices. Um, Usually, what I'll do is something like group concat name. Um, this didn't work here. Um, Not entirely sure why, but it didn't. So I just did it this way. So what we can do now is try to find the table names from SQLite master where type equals table. And we've got bookings, delivery notes, delivery services, invoices, locations, organization, SQLite sequence, and users. Um, okay, so let's see. If we look up payloads, all the things, SQLite, SQL injection, And I want to look at um, okay, so this is what I want to do. Okay, so when I was doing this, I ran into a little bit of an issue um, with enumerating the column names. So uh, what I ended up doing was just looking at the entire uh, SQL schema for each table. So you can see here. Here's the entire. This is what the entire table looks like. So I just came down here to the users, and I see that uh, there's an ID, there's an organization ID, there's a username, and a password, and other stuff. But I don't really care too much about that. So, um, what I'm going to do now is just change this and just say username, password from users, send that, and you see that we get the flag here. Um, so yeah, again, pretty straightforward SQL injection lab. Not really anything different than what we've done in other labs that have had a SQL injection vulnerability. It's the same process. There's a couple of little hiccups that I ran into with this one, but no real trickery or anything that was super complicated or anything like that. Um, is pretty much standard. Identify the vulnerability, figure out how many columns are returned in the original query, use a union select to uh, dump out the results of an additional query, and then get the username and password um, from the users table. As always with these labs, the flag is the admin user's password, um, and that's it for this lab. I hope you enjoyed it. Please feel free to reach out with any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, and I'll see you in the next one.